This conference will now be recorded.
We're going to get started in just a minute or two. I want to be respectful of everyone's time as well, since we said it would start at 9 o'clock. But since we might have some folks that are new to using this, let's give them another minute or so to make sure. We'll see if anybody else jumps on here. By the way, for those of you that are on already, thanks for being with us. Another kind of, I don't know if it's housekeeping or other item that I'd like to mention to folks too is that if you have other peers that might not know about programs that we're talking about, please feel free to pass the information along to them. We want to help as many folks as we can. We keep having just a couple jump on there. That's great. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get fully started in just a moment or two. No one has gone like this to me, so I assume you can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, thanks, Brad. Thanks for, oh, thanks. All right, thanks everyone for being with us. It kind of seems like we've stopped for a minute or so here, seeing anybody else added. So thanks for being here, everyone. The goal of the meeting is to talk about one of the programs that the City Economic Development Authority has approved and the City Council has approved as well and recommended to move forward. So we're really trying to launch it and make sure that if there are questions, we can address them today or at any time that you might have questions. Again, we'd love it if you have other peers from St. Peter that may qualify for these programs, that you share the information with them. Send them our way, have them call Russ. They can call me too, but Russ is the better one to call for this, and we'll be happy to help them along as well. So again, thanks for being here. And I think we have about an hour planned, so if it's a little bit longer, that's okay. If it's a little bit shorter, maybe that's better. We kind of want to cut to the chase of it. So Russ, what else should I know? What else do we need to do?
Well, Todd, I offered Ed Lee from the Chamber an opportunity to give a welcome also and to say hi to everybody. So Ed.
Hey, thanks. Everybody hear me? I'm just kind of looking for thumbs up. I'm kind of like the warm-up band before Fleetwood Mac. People will probably keep showing up, and when they do, all they will have missed is Ed Lee, the Chamber guy. So it's great. The opening act, or the big act, is Russ. Want to hear from him. Want to say thanks to everyone for coming today, showing up for this. Very important. It's a great program. It's a program that you don't see everywhere. I deal with a lot of chamber directors from all over the place, and you know, there's loans here and there, and there's interest on those loans, but there's just some uniquities with this one that are pretty awesome. It's easy to apply, and a lot of people are accepted. So thanks so much to the City of St. Peter for supporting the business community in this way. As long as I get the microphone, I want to say shop local all the time this holiday season, all year. Great candlelight shopping last night. A lot of people downtown. Elf Capade on Saturday is happening. Experience St. Peter. Thank you to Experience St. Peter for making these fun things happen. And everyone have a great weekend. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you, Ed. Boy, it's been a long time. It seems like a long time since March when we first assembled, and we assembled real regularly on Fridays until I think almost up to Memorial Day. And at that point, everybody seemed to have a full grasp of the situation and the challenges that they were facing. And so we stepped back. And I think we've assembled once, maybe twice since then. But we want to be mindful of your time. I told you I'd reassemble you when we had something to share or something to offer, and we have both, as I said in the letter that invited you. First of all, I want to talk about the invitations. It was a combination of Ed's chamber member list, and then no one really has a comprehensive list of non-chamber members. So I did my very best going on Google Earth and up and down the roads, and from just 20 years experience, I think I got almost everybody. I really hope I did, and if someone's missing, I apologize. Beginning on March 30th, the City Council approved the EDA's recommended COVID-19 microloan program. I would like to think it was a success. We rolled out the first loans that next Friday. March 30th was on a Monday. Through that program, we were able to provide assistance to just under 60 St. Peter businesses, and we were able to put nearly $492,000 in play, trying to be of assistance and trying to help you with your cash flow needs, and trying to help you keep your doors and your business open. At that time, you understand they were made as a 0% deferred loan. And then the city was awarded $901,000 in the Federal CARES Act financing to help the city pay for its COVID-related expenses, of which, when we did our math and assembled all of our expenses for masks and plexiglass and some of the time that employees had to take off sick, we had some money left. We had a considerable amount left. So the City Council, again, upon the recommendation of the Economic Development Authority, they converted those into a grant. And I know a number of you received loans that were converted to grants, and you were just asked to send back your federal tax ID, because we do need to report it as I believe it's going to be a taxable grant is what it is actually going to be. And I think I won't even tell you what form it is, because I see Marie's here and she'd know exactly. But it was a pleasure, and thank you to the EDA and the council for that assistance. Since that money was replenished into the revolving loan funds, the thought was, are we willing to put it out and play again? And I think the EDA and the council made it very clear that yes, they want to continue to be of assistance to you. They maybe don't understand all of your individual struggles, but I think they have a grasp that the economy and the business sector in St. Peter is hurting and could use some assistance. So they are essentially going to roll out the exact same program. So if you were eligible for a COVID-19 microloan in the first round, you will be eligible for a COVID-19 microloan in what I'm calling round 2. When you received the invitation to the meeting, you should have received an application. It's the same. I think it came out as a 2-page application because I didn't print on front and back. But if you received a loan in the first round, you will be eligible. So the business sectors that are eligible for round 2 include hotel, motel, studio, gallery, retail sales, daycare and childcare, cultural services, salons, spas, and barbershops, dentist and chiropractic, auto repair services, and business-to-business bookkeeping. You'll notice that bars and restaurants and fitness clubs and restaurants are not on that list. They've put together a specific loan program for those business sectors, and they've been invited to a meeting at 10:30 this morning. You'd be eligible up for a $10,000 loan. If you got a loan in the first round, essentially you need to sign the application and date it. And then I will fill that file with the documentation that you provided in the first round. So it'd be very, very simple. I already have a few I saw in my inbox. People that filled them out were familiar or understood the terms. But what we'll do, if you didn't apply in the first round, you need to document your monthly recurring expenses. That would include your lease or your mortgage payment. It would include all of your utilities, your gas, your city bill, your garbage bill. I included security systems, monthly charges. I included linen services, rug services. If you have a recurring monthly expense, we can essentially consider that. What we do is we add them up. And we know your monthly total, and then we multiply that by 4 to get the amount of your loan. The maximum loan is $10,000. So if you can document that you have $2,500 a month in recurring expenses, you'll be qualified for the full amount. You'll be asked to sign a promissory note. The promissory note will establish that your repayment would begin on January 1 of 2022. That sounds like a ways out. January 1 of 2022, your repayment would begin, and regardless of whether you took the full 10,000 or whether you received a portion of that, your repayment would be established at $100 a month. So last time, the last payment on a $10,000 loan was going to be in 2029. And I told people, thank you, Ed. In 2029, and I told people when they make that last loan payment, I will not be here. So, and I will say that with confidence unless something terribly goes wrong with my plans. One change they did make, since we're 10 months down the road from March, is the business had to be open and operational in St. Peter on January 1 of 2020. So January 1st of this year. I know there are a couple businesses that have opened subsequent, and they would not be eligible to participate. So if you've noticed on the application that you are asked what date did your business open, and I saw one of them that came in as 1999. So I don't think it's going to exclude many, but I know there are a couple that have recently opened that would not be eligible to participate. I did say the loans would be at 0%, and again, I think most of you, and I think I recognize most of you are familiar and participated in the first round. So first of all, I'll ask the City Administrator Prafke if I missed anything.
No, I think we covered all the basics. Maybe the next thing we want to do, Russ, is see if anybody has any questions. And you can ask now, or you can contact us later too, and we'll be happy to answer them at that time. I know maybe somebody has a more specific question to their business that might not want that shared in this type of forum, and that's perfectly cool. We'll answer whenever you call, but this is a great opportunity if you have any questions. Wow, it appears that we have no questions.
Just to clarify, sorry about that, I do. Just to clarify that if we submitted the application last time, all we have to do this time is just sign the document, date it, and send it in, correct?
Fill out the front page with the business name, but the second page where the monthly expenses are, I have those documented in your first loan application, so I'll just transcribe them into the second one.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Hey, Gavin, just to provide, also, you'll have to sign a new promissory note.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So that will necessitate, I mean, at some point, everyone who's getting a loan will have to kind of figure out with Russ where you can kind of be, when you can kind of be at the same place at the same time to have those signatures done, just like you did last time.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
anyone else?
I would say the promissory note is essentially going to be identical to the one you signed before. We'll have some new payment dates in there. Would about be it. So.
All right. Any other questions? Anybody have any other questions about that? I'm looking on here. It looks like we had somebody jump in on the chat. I missed when does it need to be turned in? Russ, when do these have to be turned in by?
There hasn't been a sunset date. As you'll recall, in the first round, we opened it in March, and we didn't have an end date until the EDA decided that they would close applications on August 31st. So right now it is open. We had one business that had talked to me yesterday. First of all, I'll say, if you could mute your microphones, please. We're getting a little bit feedback. I think it's from some of those that are participating on their phone. And then sometimes your phone will pick up my voice and try to rebroadcast it, and we'll get a little feedback. So if you could, please mute your microphone, unless you want to ask a question when we get there. So anyway, one of the businesses said, it may be advantageous for me to take this loan after the first of the year for their tax purposes. Now, I know nothing about taxes. I know nothing certainly about anyone's individual taxes. But yes, if you want to apply on after January 1 for strategic reasons, then we'll be able to do that. I'm certain we're not going to close it within a couple weeks. So that was a question that I had on the phone yesterday. So anyone else have a question?
Timeline for approval and funding.
Like I said, I see I have some applications in my inbox. As you can see, I'm not in the office. I'm working from the spare bedroom today because I got a contractor putting in some new roof vents. So I'll be back in the office on Monday morning, and then I will start processing them. And Finance Director Vogel has quite a machine down there in the south end, and I'm pretty confident that we should be able to do the first distribution by or by next Friday.
Thank you.
Anything
Russ,
else?
there's another question in the chat that says, is there a penalty for early payoff?
No, the promissory note that you signed before said you could prepay it. Now it's a 0% loan. So I think my business sense would say if I have an interest-bearing loan, that perhaps would be my focus. We told people, and we said, if it gives you comfort to take the loan, and you're not even necessarily sure you may need it at this point, but it gives you comfort to have $10,000 available, put it in an interest-bearing account, withdraw it in 11 and a half months, and you could repay us at that point at 0%. Yeah, there is no penalty for early payment.
Any other questions? We hope you're doing well. We want to help you along as much as we can. So again, help us. If you know somebody else that might not be aware of this program, they got to be a business obviously in St. Peter, please share this information with them. We want to help where and how we can. Anything else we want to cover? Last call for questions before we kind of close out.
I don't have a question. I just want to give some thanks to Russ and Todd because this most recent shutdown, I got hold of them immediately and I got an immediate positive response. So thank you.
Thank you for your kind
We want
words.
to help where we can.
Yeah, I want to say thank you as well. It's a joy to have municipalities such as St. Peter just really leaning in and helping out businesses. It's matter of fact, I haven't experienced anything like that before, so much appreciated on our side of things.
Well, we like to think that because of all of you, we're here, right? And we are very fortunate to be in this position. There are very few communities that have been able to do something like this. So we're happy to serve where and when we can. Anyone else? I saw I saw just a flash. It looked like someone new came on. Last chance, I think, for questions. You can send in that information. You can drop off that information, even though our front doors are closed to the public. You can certainly call and we can meet you at the door, or we have our little deposit box out for utility deposits at the south end of City Hall. If you have your paperwork and you want to slide it in there, Russ will get it the next day. And as he said, once he gets his process done, it's only a few days before a check can be issued. So it's signing that, it's turning in that application, signing, available to sign that promissory note, and then a few days for that check to get moving. Boy. All right. Russ, anything else? Ed, anything else we need to say?
I'd just say be safe and be very well. Take care of your neighbors, your family, each other. Yeah, it's been a while, and so but I'm so proud of the organization I work for. I'm so proud of our business community that you've pulled together. You're encouraging each other. You're trying to work cooperatively. A lot of the retail places, and again, that's special. So thank you all for all you've done, and I wish you the very, very best. And if we don't see you, have a very happy holiday.
All right. Thanks, everyone.